Well, starting in a few moments on BBC Two, Making Toys, presented by Audrey Stevenson. Designed by 5 at 3:30 takes a close look at Anne Nightingale's study. And at 4 o'clock, Tony Busan continues the series Use Your Head. And just over a quarter of an hour at 3:15. But now, with the time approaching 3 o'clock, BBC One is returning to a trade test transmission.
News at 1:15, followed by the weather, and at 1 o'clock, Pebble Mill. But for the moment, BBC One is returning to a trade test transmission.
22. You may like to know that Play School is now being shown on BBC Two, and at 10:55, 2 will be starting today's coverage of the second test match between England and India. Here on BBC One, until Capricorn game, we have a trade test transmission.
Test transmission. Good morning. For Well, that's brought us to the end of this morning's programmes for schools and colleges on BBC One. Now, the time is getting on for 11:16, and News Afternoon starts at 1 o'clock. So until then, a trade test transmission. Good morning.
Next on BBC One, Seesaw at 1:45 presents a lunchtime meeting with Bod. Between now and then, there's a trade test transmission.
Now continues coverage of the Liberal Party Assembly at Margate, while BBC One at just 3 o'clock is returning to a trade test transmission.
It's 10.5 to midday. The News Afternoon is next on BBC One at 1 o'clock. It's followed by a look at the weather. But now, a trade test transmission.
Films with opening night. Programmes for the early evening on BBC Two. Programmes for children, and at the moment it's Play School. Now, until programmes for the Open University begin at 10 to 5, BBC Two is returning to a trade test transmission. Two is returning to a trade test transmission.
Well, children's programmes have just started on BBC One with Play School, and here on Two, until those ministers talking at 5:10, we're returning to a trade test transmission.
The next programme here on Two is the second part of the series Film as Evidence, entitled Tomorrow the World, which looks at how the newsreels presented developments in Nazi Germany after Hitler's assumption of power in 1933. Film as Evidence is at 7:05 this evening here on BBC Two. And now we're returning to a trade test transmission until this evening's Open University programmes.